There's also seems to be a quality of momentum and inertia to this. We might see it in like New Year's Eve resolutions, or I mean, I could give countless examples where someone might hear some of this and understand some of this and have the experience in the moment, and completely forget about it the next day or a few days later or a week later. Is there any guidance in helping one find momentum to really continue and integrate this?
So understand that when you get to the level where this content is interesting to you, that this content resonates with you, that means on a soul level that you are ready for this integration or this healing experience. And if you are not at the level of awareness where you're ready for that, then it won't be interesting or it won't be resonant. And so we say that because we wish to remind you that the soul, if you're at this point in time where you find this content interesting, then we would say that the soul of who you are is starting to be the governor of your experience rather than the human mind. So you have lived incarnations, and you can look out into your world and see people that are still very much 100% under the influence of the human mind and haven't yet integrated any of their soul energy into their being, right? So if this content is interesting, then you can take that as a sign that the soul has already started to impress itself into your human mind, so to speak. And so this, because the soul is the governor, if you fall off the wagon or if you get off track and the soul wishes you to get back on track, then you will receive a reminder on a intuitive level, on a soul level, that you should get back on track with this work, if that makes sense. So
Totally.
understand that you live many incarnations with various degrees of integration between your soul self and your human self. Meaning, sometimes you live lifetimes where your human is here and your soul is here, and there's no contact. There's no contact. Those lifetimes are strictly, I'm living from my human mind. But over time, and really the spiritual journey from and the evolution of the soul is really all about learning how to integrate itself with the human instrument so that it can express itself clearly through the mind body construct, through this physical reality. But it takes many lifetimes of experiencing yourself as a human for that process to take place. So we would say anyone who's listening to this content that finds it interesting, again, we'd reassure you that your soul has already begun to integrate itself with your human, and that is why you find this content interesting. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't even understand what we were talking about.
Brilliant. So that leads to another question with so much like misinformation and fake news and running around. How can one practice more discernment, better understand the truth and the right way for them to find their way here?
So as you become more familiar with your energy body and your physical body and the feeling tone of the energy as it flows through you, and as we have talked about before, the feeling of either resonance or dissonance, then as you become familiar with those sensations in your body, you'll begin to recognize that in your external reality, which is having the effect on you, which feels dissonant or which feels resonant. So the more you can recognize that by becoming more aware of your physical body and your energy body, then the more you'll be able to discern what you should hold close to you and what you should push away, right? So, but the key is you have to start to notice that. So many of you are just automatically consuming a myriad of things that don't actually resonate with you. You're spending time with people that don't resonate with you. You're working jobs that don't resonate with you. because you haven't acknowledged that your body is an intuitive instrument, and that you can, from moment to moment, always know what is in harmony with your soul self and what is not, by feeling into this quality of resonance or dissonance. That this process, we want to emphasize, is not a mental process. It's not a mental judgment. It's a feeling tone in the body of this feels exciting and expansive, or this feels contracting and limiting. That's dissonance. So in terms of cultivating discernment, it's about familiarizing yourself, as we talked about in this step 1 of this healing process, familiarizing yourself with your physical body and your energy body, so that you give yourself permission to feel. So understand, when you cut yourself off from your emotions because you feel like you're not allowed to, or if you have resistance to feeling the full spectrum of emotion, then you also cut yourself off from your intuition, because the dominant intuitive ability is, in your reality, what you would call clairsentience, which is the feeling body. You can feel from moment to moment what is in harmony, what is not. You can feel when there's something off about a person, or when you don't want to be around a person. You don't need to know why. You just feel like maybe that's not a person you want to spend time with. So in terms of the discernment you speak of, it's really starting to familiarize yourself with this aspect of your energy body, because that's the expression of source, and your intuition is communication from that source aspect of you. One more thing we want to add to that too, another process that will give you to amplify that, is the process of accepting yourself and loving yourself and feeling worthy. Because a lot of you can feel when something is dissonant or when something is not for you, and yet you continue to keep it or maintain it in your life because you don't feel worthy of creating something better. So a large aspect of that discernment is also the process of letting go of these false beliefs that you are inadequate in some way, and reminding yourself of your divine worth.